And then in the next 2 days, tomorrow again, the second part of this book will be presented. Introspection is also in German available. And then on Thursday, 2 small books will be presented about Markini Bhagavata Dharma from Srila Prabhupada, about his journey to America. And then the second book is about death.
We'll see.
So, and the books are also available, so you're interested, they are in German and English, available with Maharaj
we'll see.
directly.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming, and we'll start as usual with Jai Radha Madhava. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjanaya Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachariyam Yamuna Tira Vanachariyam Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jannaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jannaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnu Paraparamhansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtottara Shata Sri Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Skonsonsthabhakacharya Shiva Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinata Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadviv Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So this is a collection of 18 songs by the Vaishnava Acharyas. And those songs focus on introspection. There are many categories. The Vaishnava Acharyas in their songs, for example, prayers. We have glorification. We have ashtakas, which describe qualities or pastimes of devotees. Then we have nam, sankirtan prayers like Yashomati Nandana. Or, what is the other one? Hariharaya Namaha is also Nama Sankirtan, it's called. So, these are 18 songs especially focusing on introspection. There are many songs by the Acharyas, and the purpose is to become thoughtful, not to just live as generally people do. Just live your life and enjoy it and don't think too much. So, as it is explained in the Vishnu Purana, all miseries in the material world we experience are due to avidya, or ignorance. As it is said there, that although the spirit soul has the facility to live both in the spiritual or material worlds, he suffers the threefold miseries because he's influenced by the avidya potency, avidya shakti. It's Krishna's third potency. So Prabhupada explains that the avidya shakti, the avidya potency of the material world, provokes fruitive activity. And although this avidya shakti is also an energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is especially intended to keep the living entities in a state of forgetfulness. And this is due to their rebellious attitude toward the Lord. Thus, although the living entities are constitutionally spiritual, they come under the influence of the potency of nescience or ignorance. And so what does ignorance mean? It doesn't mean you don't know mathematics or geography or something like that. It means you are not aware of your own constitutional position as a spirit soul. You're not aware of the Lord's position as the supreme spirit soul. You're not aware of the spiritual world. You may be aware partially of the material world, but even there you don't know everything. So basically, we are born in ignorance and we are kept in ignorance. And as long as we are under the influence of ignorance, we remain in the material world. Rishabdev, he explains this to his sons. And he says that to continue to act in a way that one will get another material body is not very intelligent. He says, I don't think it's a good idea because although the body may be temporary, it is the source of all misery. So therefore, Shastra and the devotees, acharyas, they come, Krishna himself comes to give us knowledge, which basically has the goal to ultimately enable us to surpass or overcome the material energy by understanding who we are and who Krishna is and what our relationship is as his eternal servant. And then when we surrender, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, then he will help us to overcome the bondage in material life. So generally, as we know, this knowledge is in the Vedic literature. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, the Puranas, Upanishads, etc., which are all written in Sanskrit. And unless somebody translates it, we have no idea, we have no access. In India, most people don't speak Sanskrit, just the Brahmanas basically. And common people, some of them don't even know how to read or to write. At least, let's say, well, now even nowadays they're still. But at the time when the acharyas wrote their songs, even at the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which is like 150 years ago, most people were uneducated. They didn't have access to superior knowledge. So Srila Prabhupada explains that the acharyas, they wrote songs in simple language, simple Bengali mostly, to transmit Vedic truth to common people. Srila Prabhupada, he introduced the songs very early in 1968 and 69. Most of the recordings we have today, they were recorded in those days, along with purports. Prabhupada used to record the song and then he would just give the purport, what the meaning is. Because if you don't know the meaning, sounds very nice and it's of course okay, but generally the idea is we understand what we sing. So of course Bengalis don't have a problem. That's their language. So therefore they wrote the songs in a way that even children and uneducated people could get some understanding about Vedic truth. So Prabhupada says that Narottam Das and all the other acharyas, they have sung so many, he calls them Vedic songs. Narottam Das's songs, although written in Bengali, are considered Shruti, Vedic. Srinivas Acharya has eulogized Narottam Das Thakur, saying, "Your songs are Vedic evidences. Whatever Narottam Das Thakur has said in his simple Bengali songs is Vedic injunction. Therefore, Narottam Das Thakur's Prarthana is very popular and famous among the Vaishnavas." So in this book I've collected songs of those that you see here. We have, most songs are by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Narottam Das Thakur. We have one by Govinda Das Kaviraj. Who knows which one? It's only one. That's right, Bhajahure Mana. Lochan Das Thakur, you don't know. This one is not Paramakaruna. It's another one because it's introspection. And then Vidyapati. Who knows the song by Vidyapati? Srila Prabhupada quotes it. He has not recorded this completely. There's a partial recording of one or two verses, but he many times he speaks about Vidyapati's song, and he gives the example that is famous. Anybody remembers? No? About a drop of water in the desert? No? Material enjoyment is compared to a drop of water in the desert. It's water, okay, but one drop in a desert, what will it do? And it will evaporate very quickly. So that's Vidyapati Thakur's song. Tatale Shaikate, it's called. So let's see, Srila Prabhupada has said a few more things. When the first songbook was published, I remember 1972, there was a Swami in India, actually an American, one of the first disciples of Srila Prabhupada and the youngest, Achyutananda. He was very young. And somehow or other he stayed in Mayapur. Can imagine, just a hut basically. And he learned Midranga and Kartas, Tambura. And he collected the songs from the devotees living there. And then the first songbook was published. And Prabhupada said, "I'm greatly pleased to see this collection of songs composed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das, and other great acharyas of the Vaishnava Sampradaya. Songs composed by the acharyas are not ordinary songs. When chanted by pure Vaishnavas who follow the rules and regulations of Vaishnava character, they are actually effective in awakening the Krishna consciousness dormant in every living entity." But again, we have to remember, it means we understand what we are singing. There is benefit if you just hear the songs, especially chanted by pure Vaishnavas, but obviously when you understand what it means, then that's much better. So I said, I have advised Achyutananda Swami to sing more songs of the Vaishnava Padavali, which means like a collection of songs, and record them in books so that my disciples and others in the Western countries may take advantage of this chanting and thus advance in Krishna consciousness more and more. We should always remember the danger of Maya's influence and endeavor to save ourselves from her great power. We must therefore always merge in the transcendental mellow of Kirtan Rasa, for Kirtan Rasa is the safest situation within this material world. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur was living in Jagannath Puri, that is not, they don't speak Bengali, it's Orissa, Odisha nowadays. So they have their own language, like in India we have hundreds of dialects, or even practically languages, Telugu and Gujarati and so many different languages. And all the songs basically are written in Bengali. So the devotees went to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and said, "Very nice songs, but we don't understand them. So what to do?" We said, "So translate them into your language." So that was the option. Obviously, you could translate the songs. You don't have to think, oh, if we translate, then it's not anymore the original song. No, it's the same song. So taking that as an indication and inspiration, I took the initiative to translate these 18 songs into English, in German, and in Spanish. And they're also recorded, not with traditional instruments, but with a more modern approach. If you want to hear traditional instruments, there's another songbook which we published 5 years ago, Sacred Song Symphony. There's all the songs that I mentioned in Prabhupada's books, or that he recorded, 108, that we have recorded with traditional instruments, just harmonium, mridanga, kartals, and tambura, basically. But this is another approach. So the first one in this collection is Wake Up Call, and it's an adaptation of 2 songs by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Udila Aruna and Jiv Jago. And in that song also, he mentions, he practically tells people that they should become introspective. So I will go rather quickly through this, because otherwise it will not be possible. So I'll do only 9 today, and we will sing 1 at the end. It's number 4, but I have put it at the end of the list. And maybe once in a while I'll recite the adaptation, which is basically, it's like a verse, a rhyme. So this one begins with Udila Arana. When the rising sun appeared in the east, Gauranga, jewel of the twice-born priests, wandered with devotees from far and near through towns and villages for all to hear. What to hear? The clay drums beat, the cymbals chime, as Gaura danced with grace in time. His golden form shimmered pure and bright, with his ankle bells jingling in the morning light. So that's, and then we get into the first call of people, that they should not remain asleep, but should chant Mukunda and Madhava and Yadava and Hari. And if they continue to sleep, he says, then you will just go towards death. So death is always there. Actually, the subtitle is Life in the Shadow of Time. And as we know, Krishna says, time I am, the destroyer of everything. So this theme we will see in the songs will come practically in all of the songs regularly. So then he tells them that you are wasting your time just decorating your bodies. This is a little bit exaggerated, but nowadays people don't have such opulence generally. But still they try to look as nice and beautiful as possible. So then we have, of course, this, in the song he says, and that's part of Jiv Jago, wake up sleeping soul. You are sleeping on the lap of the witch Maya. So how long will you go on dreaming? With every rising and setting of the sun, one day passes and it's lost. So don't remain indifferent, but serve the Lord of the heart, Krishna. You are lost in the cycle of birth and death, covered by illusion. So therefore, here is the solution. There's a medicine, as we know in Jiv Jago, a medicine that Chaitanya says, I have brought a medicine so you can be cured from the influence of Maya. And that medicine is the Mahamantra, the holy name, which has arisen like the sun and awarding true nectar. And at the end, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that there's nothing more precious in the 14 worlds. And he said actually the only real entities in the world are the souls and the name. Everything else is material. The only 2 spiritual items are the spirit souls, we, and Krishna in the form of the holy name. So that is the first song. And then the second song, probably nobody knows, or hardly anybody may know. It's called Shunomora Dukhera Kahini, also by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It means My Tale of Misery, which is also a recurring theme that he will tell his life, different aspects of his life, basically putting himself in our position and describing how we are wasting our time and all the bad qualities one generally has, and lamenting. We'll see. So this, he begins to say, "O Lord, hear the tale of my miserable life, a sad and sorrowful story. I drank the poison of worldliness, mistaking it for nectar's glory." This, this metaphor of poison, that comes also in Hari Hari Bifale, drinking poison willingly. "The sun is setting on my life's horizon, casting its fading glow. In this misery I seek your shelter, O Lord. Save me from gloom and woe." That's another theme we will see recurring. This is written basically when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was about 50 years old. And he refers as old age is coming. Like here he says, the sun is setting, the life is coming to an end. So now he describes that I wasted my time in childhood by playing, then in youth in studying, and then household life, material joys, friends, children, etc., etc., and attachment overshadowed my soul. That's another theme that we will see recurring, that he describes how he went through his different stages of his life. And then comes this point, soon old age arrived, and joy departed. This will happen. Yes, most of you are still quite young, with some exceptions. Those of us who are a little older will say, yes, this is true. Soon old age arrived and joy departed. Because the senses, the power of the senses becomes less and less. And then one is tormented by illness, weakness, and the body becomes feeble. Even the strength of mind in decline, which is something which happens nowadays very often. So my only hope, the divine. And then comes the plea, I have no knowledge, no love, no devotion. What help? You are Patita Bandhu, friend of the fallen. So please raise me to your lotus feet and bathe me in your foot dust. And coming at the end to Krishna. Now the third one is the one I mentioned by Vidyapati, about the drop of water in the desert. I called it burning hot sand. And it begins by describing, again, he also describes, in a world where souls lose their way, I forgot you. Because avidya, as we mentioned. Why? Because I was absorbed. Lovers, children, and friends on my mind, their allure, though fleeting, made me blind. Like a drop of water on burning hot sand, worldly delights quickly came to an end. That is the situation. It may look very nice. This is, of course, a big drop, but sometimes some people have a big drop of water with all kinds of enjoyment, but as soon as it touches the desert sand, it's just a matter of time. It will all disappear. So therefore, he says, in this misery I turn to you in despair, O Madhava. I don't find relief anywhere. And then he describes how Krishna is the savior of the three worlds, his only hope, and his well-wishing friend. He recalls how he was wandering in the material world. And again, you see in the upper part on the left side, as a frivolous child, I wasted my time. And then sitting on that bench as a useless old man, I lived in decline. Then he remembers something which we all, most of us, you don't look at this, all the brahmacharis, romantic adventures, young love's sweet kiss. Probably you may have experienced before you came to Krishna consciousness. Enchanted my heart with delusory bliss. When will I find the path to embrace and worship you, O Lord, face to face? And then he describes how everything is coming and going, even Brahmas come and go in endless succession. They are not eternal, although they live a very long time, but you, Krishna, you have no beginning, no end. And then Vidyapati says, Vidyapati admits his fear of death, who is awaiting him with its ice-cold breath. No shelter but you, O Lord Supreme, I surrender my soul for you to redeem. And then he prays again that, my Lord, everything rests in your hand to deliver me from this transient world to transcendence. And then we have the chorus again, like a drop of water on burning hot sand. The next one is a Narottam Das Thakur. This is a song which probably also hardly anybody knows, Thakur Vaishnava Gana. It is addressing the devotee, the Vaishnava Thakur, as the deliverer of the conditioned soul. We are drowning in the ocean of the material existence, so therefore it's called Cry for Help, and he begins to say, "Oh Vaishnava Thakur, hear this prayer from a wretched and fallen soul. I'm drowning, pull me by the hair from samsara's ocean, make me whole." This image of taking somebody by the hair and pulling them, you will find in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says that glorious is the master who will save his servant when he goes astray, even by pulling him by the hair, not just letting him go. So that's where it's coming from. And of course, this may be painful if somebody, if we don't have hair, they can maybe get you by the sika. But generally, we have hair and somebody can pull and it's not very pleasant. But if you're drowning, you don't mind, even if it hurts. Better somebody pulls me out even by the hair. So then again, he describes how the conditioned soul is bound with the ropes of karma, the chains of karma, no guidance, a life in despair. And here in this image, you have the soul is the blind wanderer in the back, in the gray dress. And in front, you have those who are misguiding lust, anger, illusion, pride. They guide us, we follow them instead of higher spiritual authority. So then he describes how he was wasting his time in asatsanga, harmful company, bad company, and now he comes to his senses and he says, now I am praying to you, O Lord, please take me, and again asking for help from the devotee who can save him from drowning in this ocean of birth and death. The next song is very graphic. Be prepared. I called it, just to make it more interesting for the general public, Magic Lantern Dream. It's Durlabha Manava Janma, actually means very rare human birth. We'll see how he describes life, again, reflection on his own life, putting himself in the place of a conditioned soul. So the first reflection is that in this human life so rare, my soul is gripped by agony. I never worshipped Krishna, losing a great opportunity. Missed the chance for perfection. now I'm lost in dejection. Who will listen to my story? Actually, that is in the original song. He again, it's like the other song, telling my life story of misery. The chorus is a sad, sad story, no gain, no glory. To whom shall I tell my misery? Who will soothe my agony? Worldly affairs, trapped, no real gain, no benefit, only endless trouble, day and night. And then he compares, and that's where the song's title comes from. It's like a shadow theater, a carnival of shadows, dancing illusions. And I feel lost in this world, which is like a theater where everybody is playing their roles and it's all illusory. And then comes a very, we start now with the graphic part. The end is, when the end is near and the body fails, then what remains mine when everything pales? Loved one and friends stand helplessly by, they cannot console my departing sigh. What will they do? You will go and they will then lament. This is just the chorus again, that this world is a place of misery. And then he compares himself, which is also in another song we will see next time, like an ass, I labor day by day. And for whom? I don't even know. And so I waste my time with useless endeavors, like Sisyphus. That's the idea. You working and starting all over again, and what is the gain? And then at night one sleeps or tries to enjoy, and all the while one is blinded by illusion and ignores that death is just sitting next to you. That we know. One doesn't have to become old to die. You can die at any moment. So many different ways of dying. There's practically no limit to them. But again, when we are enjoying like this, we don't care. We never consider that actually soon this will all come to an end. So he says, outwardly I may be cheerful, but within I am plagued by anxiety. Prahlad Maharaj, if you remember, he tells his father that actually all the living entities, they're always in anxiety. Why? Because asatgraha, they're identifying with things that are temporary. So this is again shown here. Things will fall apart, and now he has the vision. What happens? What will remain when I'm going? So this will now be the situation. At the end, into a pit my body is thrown. For crows and vultures, a feast to the bone. Ants and worms are sumptuously fed, eating their way from toe to head. Yeah, and then we have also these here. Dogs and jackals, in delight they dance. Around my remains a festive prance. They celebrate while others bemourn a corpse expired, tossed and torn. So don't become depressed. So this body is destined to vanish soon. To always remember this is a boon. That's the whole point of introspection. You know, people don't like to talk about this. They don't like to be reminded that this is what's going to happen very soon, like in this case also. Family and friends to ashes will burn, and we may be also, depending on the culture you are dying in. Some will bury you and then worms will eat, some will burn you up and then you become ashes, or the Parsis, as we have seen, they will throw the body, just leave it there, and then animals will eat it up. It's a charitable way of, even in death you do something good for others. Anyway, so this is that song, but at the end, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gives a positive ending in one sense. He says, actually he's addressing us in the song. He's saying, to all thoughtful persons I make a plea, forsake illusion, and seek pure devotion to Krishna. And in that way, at the end, there's a positive outcome. We don't finish a song in depression. Practically, we'll always see it. There may be a very negative description throughout the song, but at the end, either he will pray for the Lord to be merciful and rescue him, or as here he says, if you surrender, then there's hope. The next one is another one that's the one Prabhupada recorded, and he spoke about many times in his lectures and in his books also. This one is an equivalent to the Shikshastakam prayers number 5, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. It's called the Ocean of Nations, Anadi Karama Phale. The meaning is, as we see here, that one is thrown into the ocean of nations, and one is suffering in a poisonous fire of sensuality, and the mind is in anguish and cannot find relief, and there's no happiness. That's the first verse of Anadi Karama Phale. Then he speaks about hundreds and thousands of plans I'm making, and lust and greed. There, behind these two, you see these 6 enemies. We have lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, and madness. They are the Chaya Ripu, 6 enemies of the conditioned soul. And although one may be surrounded by so many apparently enjoyable things, but sooner or later one will come again to this position. The heart is burning, and one is finds himself in this ocean of nations. And then he speaks about 2 thieves that are there, jnana and karma, who have cheated me, he says. That happens. One thinks that by karma or fruitive activity and acquiring knowledge, one will be able to, first of all, advance in some way in this material world and find satisfaction and happiness. So then he appeals to, he's thrown into the ocean of nations, but he says, "O Krishna, ocean of mercy, you are my friend. I have no strength to leave this predicament. I pray to you and hope for your helping hand to lift me out of this dire ocean of torment." That's the chorus again. And then at the end, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that he is addressing the Lord, "Kindly place this fallen servant at your lotus feet as a particle of dust. That is all I plead." That is Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. Bhaktivinoda says, "I am your servant eternally, but now Maya's alluring network has captured me. Please pick me up and keep me close to your heart." That is the prayer. Then we have, and this is, now we are good in time, this is Bulia Tomare by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I Forgot You. This is a very interesting song because he starts basically, he starts in the womb. This is based on Kapila Deva's instructions in the 3rd canto, where he describes how the living entity is in the womb, and then he has a vision of the Lord, very briefly appearing and then disappearing again, and he makes a promise that this time when I come out, when I've been born, then I will serve you. But therefore he entitled this song Bulia Tomare. As we will see, I am here in the womb, and I made this promise, I vowed at birth to worship you. Yet as Maya's veil descended, the illusions of this earthly sphere, my early promise ended. So then one is covered by illusion. He describes how, the mother and father and all the relatives, they hug you and show their affection. And then he says, and I thought, well, actually this world is quite nice. It's not so bad. Like your son also thinks. Nice parents, nice deity, Sningadev, prasadam, everything is good. And he is right, everything is good. But normally that is the situation. You think everything is wonderful. You're surrounded, everybody's clapping hands when you start to walk and fall down and get up again, and then you try to speak something and everybody's enjoying. And you think, well, it's really great, right? Then you have friends and play around and, well, what's the problem? Birth and death? I don't know. It looks fantastic. Then you become a little older. He describes all this. Then I began to study. And I thought, well, yes, study is the great thing. Because when I study, then I will become, later on I will have a good job. I can travel around, I make a lot of money. And then I become situated, again, surrounded by other people. I'm very proud. I was successful in my life. I'm a millionaire now. And at the end, what is the end? Here's the end. Now in old age, with sadness in my heart, I weep alone bitterly as death lurks in the dark. O Lord, I failed to worship you. My days passed in vain. What will be my fate now? Oh. All right, so now let's see. I had planned, I have to go out one time here, 1 second. Because, oh no, we're okay, yes. Okay, one more, and then we come to the song we will sing. Now this is again Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Well, as I said, I think almost half of all the songs are by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This one is Amara Jivana, my life, which is also a very, very strong language, because he describes himself in a very negative light, but we understand he puts himself into the position of an ordinary conditioned soul. So he will say, in a life consumed by sinful deeds, no trace of piety, only evil seeds, to trouble others and spark grim fright, to see their suffering is my delight. This is a typical person who suppresses others and enjoys when he sees them suffer. And of course, very proud, thinking me first and then maybe everybody else behind me. And when others are happy, I feel distress. And when I see them suffer, that gives me happiness. Within my heart, endless desires swell, anger and deceit, my soul's dark spell. The craving for pleasure drives me mad. Pride and malice adorn my thick head. And here we have, again, this is the chorus, a life consumed by sinful deeds. Wretched as I am, I just live like this, sloth and sleep, and at the end of life, I'm still trying to enjoy, and only evil thoughts are always entering my mind. And at the end, again, as life's journey nears its end, regret and sorrow are my only friends. Now in old age, I lower my head, forced to be submissive, my ego shed. So for those who are thoughtful, one may say, actually old age is a blessing, because you realize that now, at least now, is the time to become submissive and give up all this false pride. And if not, as we see, people are so much in illusion, even at the verge of death, they still think that they want to continue with their lifestyle and enjoy. There's just in the news, one of in Africa, one of the presidents, I don't know his name, he's 92, and he will present himself again for election to continue as the president of the country. I mean, illusion is so strong, you think, well, until the very last breath, I will be number one here. I'm the powerful. And then death will just slap you, and then everything comes to an end. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, again, that's the end, positive note. Bhaktivinoda at the Lord's lotus feet tells his sad story. Admitting defeat, humble and meek, he prays, "O my Lord, your causeless mercy, my only resort." So now we come, this one we will try to sing, Hari Hari Bifale by Narottam Das Thakur. Very famous song, Srila Prabhupada speaks about it many times. I've wasted my human birth, that's the theme. I missed a rare chance. I squandered my precious life. And because I knew what I was doing, practically one may say, I was drinking poison willingly. And to worship Radha and Krishna never came to my mind. So I wasted my human birth. Then he speaks about how Harinam, divine love's treasure, Harinama Sankirtana, Golokera Premadana, Harinama Sankirtana, came from the Goloka, the chanting of the holy name. But my heart did not feel any attraction. Day and night the poison of worldliness burns my heart, causing endless distress. Still I do not embrace the means to find the nectar to soothe my troubled mind. And then he speaks about Krishna and Balaram coming as Gaur Nitai, and they saved the souls, and Jagai Madai are the proof, the witnesses. Then he addresses Krishna, Nanda, Suta, the son of Nanda and the daughter of Rishabhanu, Radharani, and praying that please hold me close to you, don't push me away. So this is Hari Hari Bifale. We'll use Srila Prabhupada's melody. I don't think you have sung it like this, but I hope you will be able to. Some or other will do it. It's not very difficult ultimately, I hope. Hari Hari. Wait a minute, let me see. I have to make this bigger. Yeah. Okay. I have to go like this. Okay. Hari Hari Bifale Janana Gawainu. Hari Hari Bifale Janana Gawainu. Hari Hari Bifale Janana Gawainu. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gawainu. Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Navajiya. 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 জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিশ্বাখাইনু জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিশ্বাখাইনু জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিশ্বাখাইনু জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিশ্বাখাইনু হারি হারি বিফলে জন্ম গওয়াইনু হারি হারি বিফলে জন্ম গওয়াইনু গোলকেরা প্রেমাদন্ন হরি নাম সংকীর্তন গোলকেরা প্রেমাদন্ন হরি নাম সংকীর্তন গোলকেরা প্রেমাধন্য হরি নাম সংকীর্তন গোলকেরা প্রেমাদন্ন হরি নাম সংকীর্তন রতিনা জন্ম লোকে নথায় রতিনা জন্মি লোকে নথায় রতিনা জন্মি লোকে নথায় রতিনা জন্ম একলতায় বিশ্ব বিশ্ব নলে দিবনিশিহিয়া জলে বিষা বিষা নলে দিবনিশিহিয়া জলে বিষয়া বিষণলে দিবনিশিহিয়া জলে বিষয়া বিষণলে দিবনিশিহিয়া জলে ধরিবে না কইনু পায় ধরিবে না কইনু পায় ধরিবে না কইনু পায় ধরিবে না কইনু পায় হরি হরি বিফলে জন্ম গওয়াইনু 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 মনুষ্য জন্ম পায়া রাধা কৃষ্ণ না বাজিয়া 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 জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিষাখাইনু জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিষখাইনু জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিষখাইনু জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিষখাইনু হারি হারি বিফলে জন্ম গৱাইনু হারি হারি বিফলে জন্ম গৱাইনু ব্রজেন্দ্র নন্দন যে সাক্ষী সুতা হইল সে ব্রজেন্দ্র নন্দন সে সাক্ষী সুতা হইল সে ব্রজেন্দ্র নন্দন যে সাক্ষী সুতা হইল সে ব্রজেন্দ্র নন্দন সে সাক্ষী সুতা হইল সে বলরাম হইল নিতাই বলরাম হইল নিতাই বলরাম হইল নিতাই বলরাম হইল নিতাই পাপি তাপি যত ছিল হরি নামে উদ্ধারিল 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 তার সাক্ষী জগায় মাধায় তার সাক্ষী জগায় মাধায় তার সাক্ষী জগায় মাধায় তার সাক্ষী জগায় মাধায় হরি হরি বিফলে জন্ম গৱাইনু 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 মনুষ্য জন্ম পায়া রাধা কৃষ্ণ নাম বাজিয়া 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 জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিষখাইনু জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিষখাইনু জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিষখাইনু জানিয়া শুনিয়া বিষখাইনু হরি হরি বিফলে জন্ম গৱাইনু হরি হরি বিফলে জন্ম Bhagawainu Hari Hari Bifale Janna Bhagawainu Hari Hari Bifale Janna Bhagawainu Ha ha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Juta 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 Karuna Karo Baro Karuna Karo Baro Karuna Karo Baro Karuna Karo Baro Narottama dasa khoe Natheli loranga pai Narottama dasa khoe Natheli loranga pai Narottama dasa khoe Natheli loranga pai Narottama dasa Natheli loranga pai Toma bina ke ache ama ke ache toma Toma vina ke ache ama Toma ke ache toma Hari Hari Bifale Janna Bhagawainu 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 Manusha Janma Paya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Manusha Janma Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Manusha Janma Paya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Manusha Janapaya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Janiya Shuniya Vishakhainu Janiya Shuniya Vishakhainu Janiya Shuniya Vishakhainu Janiya Shuniya Vishakhainu Hari Hari Bifale Janna Bhagawainu 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo Haribo Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai Sri Gauranitai ki jai Sri Palani Singadeva ki jai Gaura Premanandi Hare Krishna. Thank you, gracias, vielen Dank für die Teilnahme. Hare Krishna. So.
Bhakti Gauravani Maharaj ki. Vielen Dank. Thank you very much. This is very inspiring. Very nice pictures also. It's very. It leaves a nice imprint.
Imprint.
You don't forget so easily.
Yeah. 160 pictures.
Wow.
320 pages, 160 pictures.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
How much is the book?
What comes from the heart. You know how much a book is in Germany of this type, so more or less. You can give more than less. Better more than less. But I'm not a businessman, so I'm not good at marketing. I need some marketing manager here. Okay, thank you. Tomorrow we continue, no?
Yes. Same time.
Because there's 9 more.
Yes.
We'll see what comes. Well, we have Bhaja Hure Mana still coming. We may sing Bhaja Hure Mana, maybe. We'll see which ones. Okay. Have a peaceful night. And good dreams, not bad dreams. After seeing all this. You may have some bad dreams. But there was Krishna's pictures also, so hopefully remember that. Okay.
Deutsch oder Englisch? Was sind die schon dabei? Fragen einfach. Achso, na dann. Jetzt oder nie? Machst du das als Sven?
Wake up call 7 is Ocean of Nations.